Happy New Year, everybody. It's 2026. I can't believe it. So much has happened this year. So this is going to be an unedited video. You'll hear the ums and so's and stuff like that. I'm not going to edit it. It's going to be a kind of a lengthy video because it's been quite an amazing year. Most of it was wonderful. Some of it was like, oh my God, I'm going to die here. But let's start off what happened in January. And I'm just going to explain to you everything that I've done this year and some of my thoughts of what the country has become and all that stuff. And what to look for in 2026. So, in January 17th, I left Colorado for good. Just got in my van and left. Len, my brother, left that morning. I left at 7 p.m. I got to Raton about midnight. It was cold, freezing, -4 degrees when I left. And I said, man, and I was trying to beat the snow. When I left, I did not realize that one of my storage units was still full. And I didn't really know what was in it. And I should have put it all in a storage unit. I should have stuck around for a few more days. But I needed to get to Quartzsite because I had already signed up for the event with the Q25 event with the YouTubers. As a new YouTuber, I wanted to get some insights, some help, maybe some advice. And I really didn't get that much. People aren't going to give you their trade secrets. And the trade secret is basically just got to keep editing, keep putting videos up, which I was not very good at doing this year. I put up a few. I got to Quartzsite a few days later, 2 days before my birthday on the 19th. It was cold, 12 degrees. It was snowing in Miami. I didn't have a heater in my van. I was sick. And it just got worse. I did go to the tent show on the 20th. And by the 21st, I woke up on my birthday, coughing and hacking, and ended up driving to Parker, Arizona, to the hospital there. And ended up with bronchitis from all the sandstorms. So I am packing my masks and my scarves this year because if the sandstorms come again, they say it's the Quartzsite crud, and I say no, it's bronchitis. It's particles inside your lungs that just get stuck. So I am going to pack it this year and be more cautious. I grew up in the desert. I should have known better. We wore scarves a lot as kids in March and April and in the winter when the sandstorms came around. So the sandstorms came a little bit early this year in January. I heard that January and February are the two coldest months anyway, so I did buy a Bouge RV diesel heater, and sometime next week I will install it. I just have to figure out how to drill a hole in my floor to put the exhaust pipe on. Still working on that, and I've only got 1 week to work on it next week. And it's going to rain all next week. Ugh. But I'll find a way to do it. Umbrellas. Big umbrellas. And just deal with the rain. So in January, I was in Quartzsite, had my birthday, my bourbon tasting. Unfortunately, I couldn't have any of it. I was in the van, hacking and coughing. Was there only for 5 days. And then I did do the YouTube meetup, the content creator meetup at the Quartzsite big tent show. That's the RV tent show. We did that, and then the next morning I left and went to Kingman, threw my stuff that I had. I was over loaded in my van anyway with stuff that was left over in the house I wanted to bring. Didn't have time to store it, so I got a small storage unit, a 5x5, and threw everything in there. And then I had a mailbox that I prearranged, a P.O. box at the post office, so I went and picked up my keys and filled out my change of address on it, and then I stayed at the Kingman Motel 6 East near the airport for about 3 days, just trying to get over it. Just constant hacking and coughing, and I didn't feel that bad, but it was bad. Bronchitis. At least it wasn't pneumonia. It wasn't COVID. It wasn't RSV like I had in 2023 when I had all three of those at Thanksgiving and Christmas time. It wasn't that miserable, but it was miserable enough to ground me, not move for 3 days. So I ended up staying at that Motel 6 and taking care of stuff in my van and putting things in and out of the storage unit. And then I took off for Florida. I'm still doing the Florida videos. I don't know what's taking me so long. I do know why, and we'll explain that in a minute. But went to Florida for 6 weeks, visited my friend Lynn, met a new person, made a new friend, Teresa. I'm going to visit Lynn and Teresa again. I just love the community there. Sun City Center, Florida, outside of Tampa Bay. I'm going to go there and just have a good time. We're going to go to some botanic garden, I think, and the Strawberry Festival. I won't have much money to do everything I want to do, but at least I'll explore a little bit. And the reason why I'm going to Florida this time is the same reason I went to Florida this year, or last year. Now it's January 1st, after all. So I went to Peace, Love, and Vans last year. I also went to Van Fest. So I did 2 van events in Florida. I will not go to Van Fest again. It was a joke. Just didn't care for it at all. I never got my refund. Never got anything. They made a lot of promises. Just not helpful at all. So I'm going to just burn the bridge there. No more Van Fest. But Peace, Love, and Vans was exceptionally great, exceptionally well run, beautiful. Over 500-600 vans and RVs there. So that's where I'm going to go. And I have a paying position at this one during the event next month in February. Not in March. I'm sorry. It's in March. March 5th, 6th, and 7th. So it's usually the first weekend of March in Florida. And it's with Lacucci State Park, I think is what it's called, near Dade City, Florida. So I'm going to visit my friend Lynn and Teresa, do some stuff for 10 days, and then drive up to Dade City and do the Peace, Love, and Vans for 5 days, because I have to be there Wednesday. And then have to be there by March 4th. And then going straight home from there. And I think that's all I can afford to do. I'm not going to be able to do all the sightseeing that I did last year, or last year. So I spent 2 weeks, 14 days in the Ocala Forest at I think it's called Gore's Landing. Not Gore's Landing, something else. I can't remember what it's called now. But I did spend at a campground. It was $10 a night. No hookups. They did have water, but the water wasn't very good, and the bathrooms were full of spiders. So I'm like, no. So I had my own water. Went to town, bought water. But I traveled all up and down Florida 40, I think it was. Went to Ormond Beach during motorcycle bike week, the Daytona Bike Week, I think is what it was called. Went to Crystal River, went to the Crystal River Mounds, the Native American mounds. Went to Silver Springs and did the glass bottom boat. Went to the Yearling Trail. I did the Yearling Trail, which is made famous by the book The Yearling, about a deer that was befriended by a hiker on the Yearling Trail. Saw a lot of the Pacific Ocean, not Pacific, Atlantic Ocean, and the Gulf of Mexico. Did 2 weeks of just sightseeing. Went to places I never thought I would find. Found this, I think it wasn't Joe's Crab Shack, but something similar. Joe's Gator Shack, I think it was. I found the Gator Shack on a small little beach on a little lake, and it was wonderful. Yeah, it rained a little bit, but it was amazing weather. I sightseed a lot of old Florida. I've been to Orlando 4 or 5 times. Been to Miami a couple of times. My brother lived there. I've been to St. Augustine. I might go again if I end up going to Florida again. Not this coming trip, but whenever the Star Wars celebration is in Florida again. But it was amazing, 2 weeks of Old World Florida in the Ocala Forest. I highly recommend it. And it only takes 3 hours to get from the Atlantic Ocean, Ormond Beach, over to Crystal River on the Gulf side, Gulf of Mexico side. So, there's a lot to see in those 3 hours. And of course, Lynn, while I was staying with her, took me to Treasure Island and Hard Rock Cafe and a couple of breweries that were really good and some other places. So a lot of sightseeing in 6 weeks. On the way there, I visited my friend Penny and her real name, Linda. I call her Linda. Everybody knows her as Penny, but her real name's Linda. So Linda, I stayed at her place in Boerne, Texas, on the way to Florida, and she took me on the riverboat tour in San Antonio, and took me to the best pizza place ever. It was good pizza, the Dark Side Pizza. If you're a geek like me, it's like, oh my God, you're jumping up and down for an hour just taking pictures of all the stuff they have there. From Star Wars to Star Trek to, they even had Forbidden Planet and the DeLorean, Back to the Future. They had so much stuff. So many props and posters and stuff from all my favorite sci-fi geek movies, and it was amazing. The atmosphere was amazing. The pizza was amazing. Places like this, it's like, okay, overpriced, crappy pizza. No, it wasn't overpriced, really. It was pretty reasonably priced, and it was good. Oh, thank you, Linda, for taking me there. I may have to stop in and grab a pizza to go on my way to Florida this year. I probably won't be staying. I'll stay at Love's truck stops and rest stops this year. But it was an amazing trip. Thank you, Linda, for amazing 2 days in San Antonio. I really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed that trip. And I want to come back to San Antonio and stay with you for a little bit longer so that I can explore the whole area, and that will be my vacation, then come home without going to Florida, because I think this is going to be my last year for a while, going to Florida until the next Star Wars celebration. I can't do this every year. One of the things I did on the way back from Florida was New Orleans. Yes, it wasn't any festivals going on, but I stopped for my beignets, and I got my 2 boxes of beignets. I should start making some beignet bit mix. I should make some for this beautiful New Year's No, I got my raspberry pie. I'll cook that instead. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. But I do have 2 boxes of beignet mix from Cafe Du Monde. Walked along the river. Did not do the river cruise this time on the Mississippi River. I did that before. It was a quick stop, and then I drove all the way into I think I drove across Louisiana and came back into Texas and that night. So it was just one day. I got there very early in the morning. I was like at a Love's truck stop and outside of New Orleans, and came in and no, I was at a rest stop. That's right. And came in early, like left at 5 o'clock in the morning to get to Cafe Du Monde, super early. Just to get parking. So New Orleans was fun for a day, and then I drove 4 hours down I-10. I don't remember where I stopped at, but it was a nice sleep. The rest of the trip was great, and got back to Kingman sometime in mid-March, and that's when I started living in my van at Walmart's and Cracker Barrel in Kingman, because I was trying to get hold of the realtor that I said, hey, are you going to answer me? Because I desperately need a place. I'm living in my van, and it's very cold. I don't have heat or air conditioning in my van, and I'm very cold. It's colder in Kingman than it is in Quartzsite. It was still below freezing at night. She finally got hold of me. We looked at some properties, and I settled on the property that was the cheapest, that had the jacuzzi. I bought 1.2 acres of land with a mobile home on it. A mobile home that needed a lot of repairs, I later learned. And yes, when I get back on Monday, I have to start looking for somebody to put gutters in, because it's raining, and I got leaks in my kitchen window. And it's flooding in my kitchen. So, and it's still raining. It's going to rain all weekend long. So I got to put a big pot underneath where it's leaking, because the little cup that I have under it keeps filling up. So it's going to be really difficult to continue this winter with that flooding in my kitchen. I've already spent a lot of money with electrical and plumbing and new thermostat, new heater, new water heater, all kinds of stuff that's going on, and it's been a mess, but it's comfortable. I love this place. I love my house, my little mobile home. I love my sunset and sunrise views. The front porch I put in cost me $5,600 to put it in. Was probably the best money I ever bought, best money I ever spent. The front porch was great. That happened in June or July, I can't remember when. But the little things I've done to make this house look nice, and there's a lot more stuff I want to do on the house itself, other than putting rain gutters and a new kitchen window. But other than that, everything is nice here. I love it here. It's nice and warm. Yes, I mean, it is cold, so I'm wearing a t-shirt and a sweatshirt, but It's nice in my house, and it's nice in my cabin. I did put a cabin out back. So I got the keys on. Oh, before that, while I was in Florida, I skipped a part. I'm so sorry. While I was in Florida, I sold my house in Colorado a month after we put it up. My realtor is so amazing. So amazing. And we're Facebook friends. So, Jim Ponzi, thank you so much. You got my house sold in 1 month for a little less than what I wanted, but at a very, very reasonable price and a very good price. Got it $445 for it. $445,000 for it. A lot of it went towards debt that I was in, and I'm back in debt again, and we'll explain that in a minute. And then I bought the property for $119 cash, bought the cabin for $12,000 cash, and the rest of it has been really, really more than my budget, and the prices keep rising, and I can't get my deposit back. It's just a bad business, and I'm just done with it. But we're close. Sometime next month, first week of February, my workshop and garage buildings will be going up. The cement's done. My $10,000 cement was actually $14,250. $14,250. Yeah, $4,250 over budget. So, and then doing the inside of the cabin cost me $8,000, and it's still not done. And I'll never see that guy again. He's my electrician, and he did some poor stuff on the floor, really poor. Anyway, got some stuff inside the cabin I gotta clean up and fix, and no bar yet. I'm gonna have to make the bar myself with whatever wood I can find that's free, because I out of money. But I did get the mini split in the cabin, and we fixed the cabin. So I sold the house in February. We bought this house in March and closed on April 9th. Got the keys on April 9th and left for Japan on April 13th. On the 12th, my toes, my middle toes on my right foot felt like they broke, shattered. It didn't break. The emergency room the day before I was leaving for Japan, it just was unbearable to walk on. So I ended up going to the ER. They said it was some kind of arthritis. I don't believe that. I think I did break something in there. It feels like I'm walking on marbles. And, of course, the VA is being stupid. The earliest I could get to see a doctor was sometime in March, when I get back from Florida. March 30th, I think, is when I'm seeing the doctor, podiatrist at the Keyman Hospital. That's not even the VA. I said, I'm willing to go to Prescott or Vegas, and they wouldn't send me to Vegas because it's outside of my district. And they said, well, we can't pay you for going to Prescott when we have a podiatrist at the Keyman Regional Hospital. And I said, well, I wouldn't mind going to Prescott on my dime, because I want some more tea at the tea exchange there. And I want to do Whiskey Row again, and they wouldn't do it. So I was stuck until March 30th with this bad foot. I went to Japan on a cane. It was great getting on and off planes, on and off the trains in Japan, because everybody got up and said, pointed, sit, because I was on a cane. I could barely walk. And it took about a week. The first week, I was there in Japan for 3 weeks. First week was painful. I was on these painkillers, and that was fun declaring that through TSA and customs in Japan. And they said, don't worry, they saw it. They saw me in the wheelchair. They saw me looking, go. Yeah. And I learned quickly when foreign customs say go, you don't argue. You just take your stuff and go. Count your blessings. Yeah. I had somebody at the I can't even say the Naratika. I forgot the name of the airport now. But I had somebody who spoke English and Japanese, a Japanese that spoke English, wheel me around, even got my shuttle bus ticket to the hotel because I didn't know what I was doing, got my Swika card, got a whole bunch of stuff. After 3 days of the Swika card and the transportation system in Japan, you get very used to it, and it's very easy. Loved it. So in Japan, I went to Star Wars Celebration. By the time I got to Osaka for the World's Fair, I was still on my cane, but I was walking a lot better. It rained that night, so no drone show, no fireworks, no nothing, but I did get to see the samurai sword display that was there only the first week. And I got interviewed by a local newspaper about how I feel as American, as a samurai. I felt the samurai sword. And I said, these are beautiful instruments of death. They are meant to kill. They were used in battle, I'm pretty sure. Some were ceremonial, I know that. But if I was, as a soldier myself, if I was to die in battle, I would want to die by something of great beauty like these swords. And that was my comment. And he was taken aback like, huh? Yeah. And the lady who was translating said, you really want me to say, yeah. And okay, they recorded it. The translator repeated it to him in Japanese, and I didn't see the paper. I don't know what paper it was, but one of the Osaka local newspapers. But I got interviewed. Whether it got in the paper or not, I don't know. But that was an amazing sword exhibit. I could go on for an hour about Japan. From there, I went to Kyoto. The World's Fair, the World's Expo is what's called these days, but it's the World's Fair. It was amazing. Lot of standing in line, but there were a lot of benches to sit down. They treat the elderly, the handicapped, or the disabled people. I don't like the word handicap, but disabled, physical and mental disabilities. They really take care of people over there. And if you're older with a cane, they're going to sit you down and come over, okay, this is your spot in line. Then they come over, okay, we're ready for you, and escorted me in. Some friends and I went to Disney Tokyo. Oh my God, so much better than Disneyland. If you ever get to Japan, go to Disney Tokyo. It's 10 times better than Disneyland. Trust me on that. We saw Beauty and the Beast twice and got backstage tour of the Beauty and the Beast ride. It's like, wow, because we were talking about it in one of the restaurants, and our server said, I know somebody who does backstage tours of that. Would you like to go? It's like, oh, yes. So, between Disney Tokyo and the World's Expo and Star Wars Celebration, and then Kyoto with the Osaka Castle and the Imperial Palace in Kyoto. I did not get to see the geishas in Kyoto, the geisha show, because it was sold out for a week because of the cherry blossom festival at the end of it. And then there was so many other things. Godzilla Hotel, the Shinjuku Crossing, I think that's, or Shibuya Crossing, I can't remember where it's at. Famous crossing, of pedestrian crossing across the busiest streets in Tokyo. The Skytree was my last night. Oh my God, Skytree is amazing. I did the combo and did everything in Japan, in between, in Tokyo. All the temples and shrines and whatnot, even the shrine for eyesight. And I started crying, and the lady said, and she spoke English, "See, you pray, they answer." And it's the tears. I hadn't cried in a while. Tears were helping my eyes out. They have clean air over there. They have wonderful food, clean food, the streets are clean, everything's beautiful. I want to go back to Japan someday. I want to go to Okinawa in the south and Hokkaido in the north. So 2 more trips if I could go. So Japan was great. I get back and I started moving in on May 2nd. Started my process for permits for my buildings. Started ordering the buildings. Started doing a lot of stuff for and that's for my workshop and garage. And we just finished the cement 2 weeks ago. That's how long it took to get the permits, and I had to spend another $3,000 on a surveyor, elevation surveyor, land surveyor. They wouldn't do anything because I live in a flood zone. Nice of you not to tell me. In Arizona, they don't have to tell you anything. I still love it here. I have the best views of the Squadron Peak that I love, one of my favorite peaks. I have great views of Wallapai Peak in my front porch. My brother loves the front porch. But it has been harassment over harassment with the stupid permitting system. And if anybody had told me back in May I needed a land surveyor, the flood zone people kept turning me away. What do I need to do to make this work? Oh, you need a land surveyor. And you couldn't tell me months ago, so I'm not going to get angry about it on this video, but I have been angry since May. There's no excuse not to have all my stuff in the buildings. Why do I still have 3 storage units in Kingman that I'm paying $380 a month for? Cheaper than in Colorado, but still. I can't afford that, and now I'm probably won't get my stuff in until end of March when I get back from Florida. So it's been the flood zone people. They are inexcusably inefficient. Everything here is inefficient. So more money down the drain. The buildings that were the one building that was supposed to be 24 by 40, 24 wide by 40 long, ended up being 2 buildings 24 wide by 25 long, because I can't have a building more than 600 square feet. And I said, what about those huge buildings, agricultural buildings I see? And they're not on stilts. You know, they want it high as my mobile home. I said, so I got ordered the flood vents to put in my building and get somebody to put the flood vents in, because I don't know. I don't have anything to cut the metal. And it's been one horrific thing from the building company to everything else. And I just can't I can't really deal with it. But we're getting there. We are getting there. So by first week of February, I'll have it. Then I'll start moving stuff in. Moving! I took 3 trips in big U-Hauls, 26-foot U-Hauls, to bring everything here. That's cost me about $10,000 that I wasn't expecting. I took my last trip in the van to get the last little load that didn't fit back in November. In November. Did that. Hard driving those U-Hauls. Get there, load it up. I had to pay the movers to help me load up stuff there, and then had to pay movers here in Golden Valley, Keenan area to unload everything. And yeah, so I've got everything here. I do, and I don't have anything left in Colorado. But that I've been working on since June. Okay, let's get back to June. Went to DroidCon, and then took a month getting back home because I decided I wanted to go through Oklahoma and that area, and St. Louis. Went to a baseball game in St. Louis. Again, no air conditioner. And it was over 100 degrees with the worst humidity I've ever felt. Uncomfortable. But St. Louis was fun. Gateway Arch was fun. Seeing the Cardinals play at Busch Stadium. Oh, the Clydesdale tour was amazing. I made friends with, what was his name? Buddy or Bondi or something like that. Oh, he was amazing. He loved selfies. I got selfies with Buddy. Found out about the Clydesdale little colt that's on the commercials. He's 3 years old, and he's being trained at the farm now to be a Clydesdale puller. So yes, he is living his dream. They have to train him. So he's 3-year-old, still a little teenager. So, but he's doing very well. If you know the Budweiser commercials with the little colt dreaming about being the big Clydesdale, well, he's living his dream. He's being trained. So, and I forgot his name. St. Louis was amazing. I loved it. Found this great little breakfast lunch place just down the street, about a mile from, half a mile from Gateway Arch. Gateway Arch, get your tickets to go to the top. It's amazing. It's wonderful. I loved it. So anyway, yes, that's what I did in St. Louis, and going to a baseball game. Got back home through my trip through Oklahoma and that way, and in Texas, because I went to the Big Texan for lunch on the way, and stayed at the Big Texan RV Park. I may do that again on my Route 66 trip next year. Wonderful, wonderful place. Good beef. Good beef. I can't afford the dinner, so I'll go for lunch again. Dinners are going to cost you $50, $60, $70. Lunches are about $20, $30, $40. Half the price of a dinner. Or more. It could cost you up to $100 if you get everything. But it was really, really good. So I'm going to do that again on my Route 66 trip. I did stop at a lot of Lowe's and rest areas getting home. And then when I got home, I started planning my next trips. I had to leave in mid-August to get to Colorado Springs Comic Con last time I go. The politics amongst all the Star Wars groups was unbelievable. I was so disappointed. I get what one side is saying and what the other side is saying, and I was like, I don't give a rat's ass. So I will not go to Colorado Springs Comic Con ever again. And if I do go, just to go to the dinner at my good friend Dave's place in Woodland Park. I could go to his place in Woodland Park anytime, but when the 501st decides, well, we're not participating, but we're going to do a dinner somewhere else at this German restaurant that I've been to before that was horrible. I didn't like that German restaurant the first time. So, I like Dave Platzer's place. Bourbon and Barrels, or Barrels and Bourbon. Oh, Barrels and Boards. Boards and Barrels? Oh, God, I should know. It's New Year's morning. The Rose Parade is about to start. But anyway, I like that place. I love Dave Platzer. He's one of my good friends, and he's an excellent, excellent chef. And I will always support his place. Always. So, I went with another group to that. Then I did the COFO. It was interesting. The Colorado Festival of Horror. Everybody loved my Godzilla Fest Sunday morning. I had 29 people show up Sunday morning. 29. I had a helper that actually counted twice. I'm counting 29, not us. I'm not including you and me, but there's 29 people in seats ready. I was like, holy crap, I'm lucky you get 5 or 6. Godzilla Fest is growing and growing and growing and growing. This year they're going to do 2 days of the Short Horror Film Festival. How that's going to affect my Godzilla Fest, I don't know. I'm just, if I don't do Godzilla Fest, I want to go back to COFO. Brett and Jeannie and Smurf and Jack and Art, the whole gang, are people that are very, very good friends of mine, and I support them. But it will depend if I can afford to go, and it also depends this year when the Sugar Beet Harvest is. They're doing the Festival of Horror a week later, on September 18th, 19th, 20th, I think is when it is. And it's going to be at the Marriott DTC, and I could park my van in the back and sleep in my van if I have to. But it's valet parking in the back there. So I got to make arrangements to have my van sort of on the side. At least it's not the Hyatt with a parking garage that I can't get my van in. So I'll be staying in my van because I can't afford the hotel room. But I will probably just drive out there, do the Festival of Horror, and then Sunday afternoon, and I won't be able to leave early Monday morning. I'll probably leave Sunday afternoon, and get on up to the Sugar Beet Harvest in Minnesota. We'll see how that goes. I may have to skip Festival of Horror this year because of it. But I do need to get some kind of income this year. There's a lot going on in my life. It was hard work getting all my stuff here. Brain with all the permitting process to get my buildings and cement. However, getting my driver's license and my car license plates were easy. $256 for both vehicles, my van and my Honda Fit, both of them. Oh yeah, I had to go back to Colorado. Flew in to drive my car back here. So I've taken 6 trips back to Colorado, 7? Maybe 7 trips back to Colorado this year to get my stuff, get my car. The car was hitched on the back of a U-Haul with some more loads of stuff. But I forgot where I was going with this. But yeah, 7 times back to Colorado. If I go back to Colorado, it's going to be only twice for Colorado Fest 4 if it doesn't interfere with the sugar beet harvest. And I will have to be in Rye, Colorado for the Peace, Love, and Vans event in mid-June. So I've got 5 days to get from Indianapolis to Rye, Colorado because I'm going to DroidCon. And after my Route 66 trip that I'm starting in late April. Speaking of Route 66 trip, the other trip I took was a little 3-day trip I just did the day after Christmas, just this past weekend. From my house, basically here in Keeneland. I went to Keeneland, actually, started in Keeneland, and then went to Santa Monica. Stay at the Wigwam Hotel, so I did that part, but I have to do more of it. I have to do it again. But I'll bypass the Oatman stuff. I'm going to go to Oatman in my little car and just come back and go to Cold Springs again, or Cool Springs, whatever it is, get the stamp, because everything was closed in California, and Cool Springs was closed until after New Year's. So doing it after the holidays was not the best time, but it was good. I needed my beach time. It was sunshiny. I enjoyed my trip. And tomorrow I get to go to Phoenix for 3 days. I'm in the Fiesta Bowl Parade on Saturday with Star Wars groups. So yeah. So recap, I left Colorado, went to Quartzsite, stayed there for a few days, got very, very sick, stayed in Keeneland for a few days, trying to recuperate, then drove a long trip. I did visit my friend Rita in El Paso, Texas, too. Rita, I haven't forgotten you. I love you, girl. She's the sister of my soul sister, and Rita's like my sister, too. We grew up together. So I did stop at her place in El Paso, Texas, and Linda and her amazing taking care of me for 3 days, 2 nights in San Antonio area, Bernie, Texas, and it's pronounced Bernie. And then to Florida, Lynn, I love you. Lynn's one of my sisters. We worked together at Grand. I've known Lynn for over 30 years. She is my sister. I've known her, and well, I've known Rita longer than Lynn. I've known Rita most of my life since I was a teenager in high school is when I met her, and high school buddies. But Lynn and I have become very, very close all these years, and I want to see her as much as I can, but it's going to be hard for me to actually go to Florida all the time. So I'm going to enjoy her. And then I went to Van Fest. Nope. Went to Peace, Love, and Van. Yes. Love Peace, Love, and Van. Came back through New Orleans. Had a day in New Orleans. Went to Amarillo to the Big Texan. Stayed there overnight. Came back home. That was... and then stayed in March came in my van, lived in my van, sold my house while I was in Florida, bought the property here in late March, closed on April 9th, went to Japan for 3 weeks on a crutch the day before I left on the 13th. Started moving in first week of like May 2nd or 3rd, and just enjoyed my home, but headaches upon headaches upon headaches of trying to get my buildings for the workshop and the garage, and the permitting process, the flood control. It's been a headache, but we're getting close on that. Then went to DroidCon in Indianapolis and came through Oklahoma. Oh, that's the trip I came through Oklahoma and Big Texan. That's right. And then, so Amarillo was not on the way from Florida. That was on the way from Indianapolis. And then I just been busy here, going back and forth to Colorado, bringing my stuff. Went to Colorado Festival of Horror. Stayed in Colorado for a month. Oh, yes, I did go to New Mexico. Sugarite State Park in Raton on my way to Colorado. That was 3 days. Beautiful. But I was in Colorado from mid-August to last week of September. And just... I didn't want to be there. I did not want to be in Denver. I was in Denver most of the time. Had a good time in Raton, New Mexico. I was like, I can't wait to get out of here. And I blew off the Great American Beer Festival, which was on October 10th, because I was told that we're not giving free tickets anymore. So I just came home, worked some more, got the cabin in, did a lot on the cabin, and more headaches with the permitting process. And finally got everybody together, and we got cement in, and we're getting the buildings in. Then I went to my 3-day trip on Route 66 from Kingman to Santa Monica. I just did. What am I doing next year? Well, tomorrow I'm leaving for Phoenix for 3 days in the Fiesta Bowl parade with the Star Wars groups. Yay! So I'm going to explore Phoenix a little bit tomorrow. I'm waiting to hear from a person to see if I can stay on his couch. I do have reservations at the extended stay, about a 5-minute drive from the park we're supposed to meet at. Nothing within walking distance. I really don't want to spend money, but it was $81 a night at the extended stay. So I got 2 nights because I'll be way too tired to drive back home after the parade. It's 1.5 miles plus another mile to get back to the beginning, plus the shuttles. We have to be there at 6:30 in the morning on Saturday morning. It's a long, long, long day. And then Sunday, I'm just going to sleep in and take my time coming home. Then on January 17th, I go to Quartzsite. For 10 days. Well, I'm leaving on January 26th to come back home. I may go on the 16th instead of the 17th. The 16th may be okay, but I'll get there a day early before the Q26 event. I am going to be part of the content creator not panel, but the meetup at the Big Tent RV show in Quartzsite, the Quartzsite RV show. That's on the night of the 17th, so I have to be there on the 17th. I will be bringing my masks and a heater, and I'll be comfy in my van, and I won't have tons of stuff like before. And for my birthday, it's margaritas and taco bar and margaritas. That's it. Then, the Rose Parade just started in San Diego Zoo. They got lions and zebras, and oh wow, that is an amazing float. Anyway, I'm gonna watch the Rose Parade. So after that, I come home, and then on February 13th and 14th, I'm doing the Kingman Valentine craft show. It will be my last craft show. I found out craft shows around here are just old ninnies that like to gossip. Nobody sells anything. And the stuff that are sold are stuff for $1. I can't sell my stuff for $1. Sorry, no. So I probably have lost over $200 on craft shows just for the tables this year. Yep. I can't afford to lose anymore. So it's already prepaid. They don't refund. So I'll do that. Now on the 15th, I go to Florida, do the Peace, Love, and Vans, visit my friend Lynn and Teresa, and Strawberry Festival, and then come on home. And then I got, hopefully be home by mid-March. And then I got 6 weeks to get everything. Well, I got 2 weeks to get everything out of the storage unit, because I want everything out by the end of March. I'll probably get some stuff, at least one of the storage units emptied before I go on the 13th for my, or on the 15th for my trip to Florida. And then I will see what I can do to get the rest of the boxes and stuff out, the other 2 units out by the end of March. I am running out of money. I did have to borrow $20,000 out of my Roth IRA to keep the bills, the lights on this year, and it's very little. That's why I'm going to Sugar Beet Harvest, see what I can do to recoup some of my expenses and pay off some of my debt. It's going to be hard, but despite all the harshness, I am going to take the trip I've been planning for 2 years, the 100th anniversary of Route 66. I'm going to start at the end of April and go to Chicago from Kingman, the visitor center there in Kingman, up to Andy Devine through Hackberry, all the way up to Seligman and stuff, and just keep on going to Chicago. And then from Chicago, I dropped 4 hours to Indianapolis for DroidCon, and then from DroidCon, I got 5 days to get to Rye, Colorado for Peace, Love, and Vans. I got a paid position there too, and then off to, and then come home. And then I don't go anywhere. I'm still debating about COFO, Colorado Festival Horror, and that all depends on when I have to be there for the Sugar Beet Harvest, and if I get hired. There's a lot of ifs on that, and the fact that they're doing 2 days in the film room of the short film festival, which has become internationally known now. We get stuff internationally everywhere from all over the world. They may have just pushed me out of the Godzilla Fest stuff, but there's a lot of people that's going to scream if I don't do it. So we're going to do, yes, I will announce it. We're going to do a -1, and I think whatever the Rodan and -1. It's been 5 years since -1 came out, so I can show it without having any kind of, lawsuits against Toho Studios for showing it without a license. So it's already on Blu-ray. I can show it, and that's okay. So that's about it. Sugar Beet Harvest, and then come back October, November, December. Probably won't be traveling that much. Probably won't be doing that much. January, go back to Quartzsite. I'll do that every year. And I'll probably do, in 2027, I have Star Wars Celebration in Los Angeles, so I've got to save money for that, and I can't save any money unless I make money, and I'm not making anything right now. I do need a lot more subscribers on this channel, so please subscribe, hit that like button. I want to reach 1,000 subscribers this year so I can monetize and do things, and I know I'm going to be better at getting the videos out on a weekly basis, because this year has been totally the whirlwind of a change of my life. Change of my life. It's been a good change. It's been a headache sometimes, but it's been wonderful so far. And my dreams are coming true. So with all of that said and done, I'm going to end this video. It's been an hour and my phone is dying and the Rose Parade's on and I want some breakfast. And you all have the most wonderful, wonderful happy new year. Wonderful 2026. And remember, in this wonderful 2026, the year of the horse, let's gallop in. Think of those Clydesdales. Think of how that little tiny Clydesdale colt, the little pony, the little, not pony, but the little baby Clydesdale, how he's living his dream for real, being one of the Clydesdale pullers for the big Clydesdale wagon, being trained for that. He's living his dream. I'm living my dream. I hope you all live your dream. Find your own adventure and live your dream. Thank you for listening. Happy New Year. Let's all have a great 2026.